Welcome back. What we're watching, episode 30. We have to put away the shenanigans, TJ. We're in our 30s now.
This is the Steph Curry episode, man.
Oh,
I
okay.
got I got I got to show love to my guy. I got to show love to the chef, man. Put him to sleep, baby.
Have you been watching? Let's go for a tangent. Did you ever watch that show that he did for Peacock?
Mr. Throwback.
Yes.
I just found out that it was a thing,
Ah.
and
Are, are you out of the Peacock?
I'm
The
not out of the
popular?
Peacock. I'm 4 episodes into Fight Night. I know that. I know that. Shouts out. Look, I said this on Facebook. Shouts out to Kevin Hart because I was never the biggest fan of him as an actor. I did not know that he had this kind of range. Good job, sir. 4 episodes in the Fight Night, and I'm telling you, man, that's a strong show, buddy.
It is on my list, and I'll tell you what, they are pushing that hard. I think I told you the last time we recorded, when I bring up Peacock in the morning to do my wrestling stuff, it's front and center every single time.
It makes me wish that I had taken advantage of an opportunity that I had this summer because they were pushing for actors hard in Atlanta, and I did not want to commit to driving down there for 3 days. But now seeing what they were able to do, I wish that I could have been able to attach my name to this man because it is really strong work.
And they are pushing Atlanta hard on there because of the fight that takes place. It takes place in Atlanta, and they talk about
Yep.
Atlanta, burned down but came back because of
Yep.
because of black people. And they say it, and it's true.
Yep. 1,000%. So
Yep.
we're back.
We are back, and we're back. We're back, and we're back. We're back.
Back.
Not to be confused with fatback.
No, which I like with my greens now. Don't get it twisted.
Oh man, you ain't never gonna me get it twisted with fatback. I got 2 words for you: yes and please. All right.
Yes, and please. Seconds. All I need is some cornbread. Yeah, we having a party, baby.
My best friend, when he was growing up, they were going on vacation. They stopped at a little breakfast place close to our hometown, and his dad gets some fatback, and he's set. Whatever else he got, he's set.
Yep.
They go to on vacation. They go 4 hours away. They're in the mountains of North Carolina now on the trails. My friend is just a little boy and all that, and his dad pulls out a napkin from his pocket, unrolls it, and it's got a piece of that fatback, and he's just in there eating it. It went on the trip with them.
Big time facts. Big time facts, man. Because it hits a spot. To anybody who is not a meat eater, I'm not trying to throw this in your face, but you're missing out.
Absolutely, 100%. Now I'm going to say this: I'm going to meet those people who are not meat eaters halfway. All right, I'm headed back halfway to them. Do not eat this every single day of your life.
No,
because you can say sausage, ham, bacon. Okay, I wouldn't do it, but definitely not fatback. It's right there in the name.
Bro,
it is
listen,
right there in the name.
That's how I feel about country ham, and country ham ain't as bad as fatback.
Oh no.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, you're definitely not wanting. And look, to our fans who are pig farmers, don't think that we're trying to tell anybody not to buy your product, because that ain't it.
No,
we're telling them that they need to do it. We just want them to be your customers as long as possible. So if they do fatback every day, that's not a long-term win. So I'm saying.
And right there, the name fatback.
Fatback.
If you are familiar with it at all, it'll keep. Okay, this is not a race against time.
No.
When you get the fatback, that fatback's going to be good for a while.
It's not like French fries.
Oh no, it's not like French fries or like a loaf of bread or the produce and all that. Will it go bad? Yes, but you're not on the same timetable.
Definitely not. So just to give y'all an example, so if you go to a place and get a sub, that meat, if you don't do something with that sub immediately, the meat you can eat later on, but that bread might get soggy. So, there's even a shelf life. You say, bread, yes, there's a shelf life for bread. French fries, you know it. Once those French fries get cold, it's a wrap. You ain't warming those things up. I don't care how thick they are and where they from. Bojangles. But Fatback, put that thing in a net. I put that in my daggum, what you call them, fanny pack. And I'm digging in the fanny pack, pulling out the Fatback. Bro, that is a rhyme if I ever heard it. Digging in my
fanny pack, Fatback. Or Fatback fanny pack.
Yeah, the Fatback fanny pack. That's it. All right, McDonald's, send the check. Because you know they will be the ones to come up with it.
Listen, McDonald's, if you do that, you definitely got to send the check.
Yes.
TJ, they're selling the Fatback fanny pack. We're going down there. Come, whoever's running McDonald's CEO, you meet us at the local McDonald's. You decide which one it is. TJ and I will be there bright and early. With
this episode queued up, because I'm telling you, the McFatback fanny pack, which is going to be difficult for me to say, the McFatback fanny pack. It's really tough, folks. If you can say it at home, hit me in the comments and let me know, because I'm having a hard time.
We are going to be there when they open. As the man is turning the key, I'm going to hold the door for him. He's going to say,
Yep.
Thank you, sir. We just opened. We're not ready yet. Oh, no, I'll be over here in the corner. I'll buy a beverage, and I'll drink the beverage while I'm waiting.
I'll have on a shirt and tie.
I won't get in your way.
No, not at all. You ain't got to worry about me.
They're sending the check.
The check is coming, because the McFatback fanny pack got at that time. It started here.
And listen, when they get there, a round of those on me. I'll buy one.
All right.
Now, TJ, regardless of how you're really doing that day, you got to eat it, because you're like, oh no, I'm watching my weight.
Right?
Not today.
Not today, I'm not. The McFatback fanny pack. That right there would have been a nice episode. That would have been a nice title for an episode, man. I'm not even gonna lie.
Might still be one. You never know. But what we're watching, we're back with episode 30, the Steph Curry episode. We are going to be covering the first 5 episodes of season 1 of Community.
Yes.
So we finally made it to Colorado.
Which I didn't know was in Colorado for the first season.
Oh, like it was a couple of seasons for me. I'm like, they're in Colorado? Right. Why did I think they were like somewhere
Arizona?
else?
It was Arizona. I thought they were in Arizona the whole time. Not the whole time, until they deliberately say it. Yeah. So we're going to get into it, though.
Community is an American television sitcom created by Dan Harmon. The series ran for 110 episodes over 6 seasons, with its first 5 seasons airing on NBC from September the 17th, 2009 to April the 17th, 2014, and its final season airing on Yahoo Screen from March 17th to June 2nd, 2015, set at a community college in the fictional Colorado town of Greendale. The series stars an ensemble cast including Joel McHale, Jillian Jacobs, Danny Pudi, Yvette Nicole Brown, Allison Brie, Donald Glover, Ken Jeong, Chevy Chase, and Jim Rash. It makes use of meta humor and pop culture references, paying homage to film and television cliches and tropes.
Yes.
Now, let me just say this. Knowing, folks, this is a preview of episode 31. The next episode, we're covering Captain Marvel. And for about a year, I thought that Jillian Jacobs was Brie Larson. I thought the girl from Community. And I'm like, why doesn't it have her listed? Because I was getting her confused with Allison Brie.
Got you.
Because she looks kind of like her, and I'm like, it's got that Brie name. I said, it's the girl from Community. Yep. Nope.
Completely different Brie.
Completely different people.
Yes.
Harmon based Community on his experiences attending Glendale Community College. Each episode was written in accordance with Harmon's story circle template a method designed to create effective and structured storytelling. And that's one thing that you can say about Community. It was always very well structured. They had jokes on top of jokes on top of jokes that sometimes went seasons.
Right. But it always paid off.
So let's talk about the premise. Jeff Winger is disbarred and suspended from his law firm when it is discovered that he lied about having a bachelor degree from Columbia University.
Now you got to get one from America.
To earn a legitimate degree, he enrolls in Greendale Community College in Colorado. He quickly becomes attracted to his classmate, social activist Britta Perry, and pretends to run a study group in order to spend time with her. Britta invites classmate Abed Nadir, a socially awkward and pop culture obsessed student, who in turn brings other classmates along. Religious single mother Shirley Bennett, naive overachiever Annie Edison, former high school football star Troy Barnes, and bigoted elderly millionaire Pierce Hawthorne. Despite their differences, the group members soon become close friends. They are often roped into helping the college's flamboyant dean, Craig Pelton, in his schemes to make the school seem more respectable, as well as having to deal with the antics of their mentally unstable teacher and eventual classmate and friend, Ben Chang. The first season of Community premiered on September the 17th, 2009 in the 9:30 Thursday time slot and ended on May 20th, 2010. After 3 episodes, the show was moved to 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time.
I hope this doesn't awaken anything in me.
NBC initially ordered 13 episodes, but on October 2009, it was announced that the show had been picked up for a full 22-episode season. In January 2010, NBC ordered an additional 3 episodes for the first season, extending it to 25 episodes. Pilot is the first episode of the first season of Community, aired in the United States on September 17, 2009, written by Dan Harmon, the show's creator. The episode was directed by Anthony and Joe Russo. The episode introduces Jeffrey Winger, a disbarred lawyer who was forced to attend community college to get his license back. He tries to exploit his friendship with one of the faculty members for easy credits, but fails and is forced to join a Spanish study group. The members of this study group make up the main cast of the series. So, as we mentioned, Jeff, lawyer disbarred, joins Greendale. He plans to use his friendship with Dr. Ian Duncan, a professor at the college and Jeff's client, to obtain test answers. In the cafeteria, Jeff meets the attractive Britta and, in an attempt to get closer to her, convinces her to join his non-existent Spanish study group. As the study group convenes, Jeff pretends the other members simply did not show up.
Like before you move past this, bro, like that scene where he's talking to Britta in the cafeteria.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I have a study group. And she's like, the dude playing Bejeweled on his phone has a study group. So he starts speaking in Spanish, none of which are what he's trying to say at all. My name's Jeff. It means Pepe. Like, and then it's just the cafeteria lady. Are you gonna pay for your taco? Seinfeld. Like, it's just so well done, man. Props to them for that. Good stuff.
The only thing that they were missing would be Peggy Hill in the corner going, Buenos dias, senor.
Peggy Hill. Oh, Peggy.
Lupe. Oh, she wants to come back with me. She thinks I'm her mother.
They do not like her.
And we're back.
Nice.
Britta, however, has invited Abed to join them. Jeff unsuccessfully tries to make him leave and then gets called to the football field by Dr. Duncan, who makes a futile attempt to appeal to Jeff's conscience and eventually agrees to provide the answers. Jeff returns to the study group, discovering that Abed has also invited Troy, Shirley, Pierce, and Annie. Finding Britta smoking a cigarette outside, he suggests that the two study alone, but she persuades them to return. Jeff, eager to get away, deliberately stirs up a fight amongst the group, then leaves once more to get the test answers. Dr. Duncan hands him a sealed envelope, but only in return for Jeff's Lexus. When Jeff returns, the group is in turmoil, and Britta promises to go out with him if he can restore order. He does this through an inspirational speech, but Britta sees through his lies and asks him to leave. Jeff then comes clean about everything, adding that since he now has the test answer, he does not need the study group. As the group turns against him, he leaves. Leaving the building, Jeff finds all the pages in the envelope to be blank. He returns to the office of Dr. Duncan, who tells him that he wanted him to teach him a lesson, although Jeff gets his car keys back. As he's about to leave campus, Jeff runs into Pierce and Troy and shows his ability to make people feel better about themselves through advice and encouragement. The others join, and Jeff admits to being a fraud. He says that he does not have the test answers, and he will probably flunk next day's test. The group has now taken a liking to him. They invite him back in. The episode ends in a dedication to the recently deceased John Hughes, whose film The Breakfast Club had been repeatedly referenced throughout the episode.
So that first episode, and I'll tell y'all folks, like, I tried to watch Community when it first premiered and was at a very bougie place in my life where I was comparing everything to The Office. And if it did not meet the Office standards, I didn't give it a shake. And so I missed out on being able to talk about Community in real time because I didn't become, a fan till like maybe 5 or 6 years ago. But now, I'm in it, and that's deep.
And The Office at that time was entering its 6th season, so they're firing on all cylinders.
All cylinders. Nothing compared, really. So that's what I'm saying. It was not fair.
So then we get to Spanish 101. It's the second episode of the first season of Community. Aired in the United States on NBC on September the 24th, 2009. The episode features Jeff and Pierce working on a Spanish project as Annie and Shirley organize a protest. Receiving 5.39 million viewers upon its premiere, the episode was met with mostly positive critical reception. The end tag, the first of the series, showed Troy and Abed performing a nonsense rap in Spanish, an early interaction between the pair, which was praised by reviewers. Biblioteca.
Like, bro, like, is it weird that I know that whole song, right? Like, by heart, man. Like, it gets in your head. But the most important thing that I remember from this episode is, one, you bit. You bit. I am a Spanish genius. Shouts out to Ben Chang, man. Ken Jeong really gets introduced in this episode.
So let's get into it. Jeff is late to the group study session. Britta is upset by his lacking punctuality and gets the group to agree to question him about it. When Jeff arrives, everyone except Britta is charmed by him as he greets each of them in turn. She fails to get the group to confront Jeff regarding his lack of punctuality and ends up questioning him herself. Later, Jeff gives Britta a card to apologize for his poor first impression 2 weeks prior, but Britta remains wary of him, believing him to be exploiting other members of the group. Meanwhile, Shirley and Annie are interested in learning about a social justice cause Britta mentioned prior, the killing of journalists in Guatemala, such as Chicada Panecos. Shirley and Annie plan a protest, but Britta is annoyed at the pair, believing them to be going about the matter in poor taste, in part due to plans to have a Chicada Panecos Pinata after the journalist was beaten to death.
That's why we got the idea. Oh, God.
The group's Spanish instructor, Ben Chang, randomly divides the students into pairs for an assignment. Jeff trades his shirt with Abed in exchange for switching partners, but Britta has already swapped with Pierce, whom Jeff is unhappy to work with. Pierce is excited to work with Jeff, insisting on drinking scotch and socializing before they begin the assignment.
It's a sausage fest.
As Pierce develops an increasingly complicated Spanish presentation, I like all the different outfits and stuff that they have.
Right.
Veering wildly off topic into various irrelevant, bigoted, and confusing directions while failing to use the Spanish phrases required to pass the assignment. Jeff grows angry and storms out. Meanwhile, Annie and Shirley are hosting candlelight vigil. Initially annoyed, Britta apologizes to them and asks how she can help. Jeff arrives, trying to impress Britta. Pierce soon arrives and yells at Jeff before accidentally lighting himself on fire from a protester's candle and running into a fountain. Shirley and Annie are thrilled when they discover a newspaper article about the event, though it mostly focuses on Pierce's injuries. On the day of the presentation, Pierce is ready to do his presentation without Jeff. He is angry with him when Britta reveals that Pierce offered her money to swap partners in order to get closer with Jeff. Jeff changes his mind and performs it with him. The presentation is lengthy with multiple costume changes and a variety of props, such as sparkler, an Israeli flag, sombreros, and a Palestinian flag.
And some oars, like they were paddling for a little bit too, baby.
And dance sequences. Unimpressed, Chang fails the pair, and amused Britta tells Jeff that no woman present will ever see him in a sexual context in the future.
But she looked back.
Yep.
But she looked back at it. So that's how you know. So you're saying there's a chance.
That's right. Introduction to film. It's the third episode of the first season of the American comedy television series Community. It aired in the United States on NBC on October the 1st, 2009. The episode sees Jeff attempt to seize the day to pass a class, while Britta pays for Abed to take a filmmaking class to his dad's annoyance. It received mixed critical reviews and garnered 5.86 million viewers upon its premiere. Jeff convinces the rest of the study group to enroll in an easy class taught by the eccentric Professor Whitman. Whitman claims that they will all get A grades as long as they follow the mantra Carpe Diem. He then confronts Jeff after the class, saying that he is an opportunist and will fail the class unless he seizes the day by the end of the week. Jeff's initial attempts to impress Whitman by wearing rainbow-colored suspenders, flying a kite, and playing jump rope fail.
I would be cautioned by the age of these girls. He's sitting there playing he's doing double dutch or jump rope or whatever with these girls, and then after he's over, he laughs, he hugs them, and with poor taste, like he really busts his chops. I love that actor, and it's sad I can't think of his name right now.
Yeah.
But his comedic styling, like I feel like he often plays that same character in all the things that he's in, but he's hilarious.
Oh, yeah. Meanwhile, Abed is unable to join a film class as his father, Gobi, will only pay for classes which teach skills that can help him with the family's failing falafel stand. Britta gives Abed money to enroll in filmmaking classes, his true passion. Abed purchases a new camera and starts to document conversations within the study group, casting Britta as his mother and Jeff as his father to their dismay. Gobi accosts Britta for interfering with his parenting. Britta and Jeff explain their problems to each other, and Jeff promises that he will convince Gobi to meet with them to discuss Abed's future. As Abed works, Gobi, Jeff, and Britta get into an argument. But Abed interrupts them with his completed video. He's used footage of Jeff and Britta arguing, superimposing the image of his parents' heads onto their body. The film is cut to recast the study group's conversation as Abed's parents' opinion of him as an abnormal child who has a turbulent childhood, filled with medical tests and a parent's divorce. The film implies that Abed's parents divorced because of his atypical behavior. Gobi is moved by the film and allows Abed to continue his filmmaking studies to help him to be better understood. Thankful for Jeff's help, Britta kisses him when she sees Whitman nearby. An enthused Whitman is satisfied that Jeff has seized the day. In the end tag, Abed starts to crump in front of Troy, who then begins to demonstrate his method of crumping. Jeff arrives and asks what they are doing before demonstrating his own technique, and the three crump together.
That's the thing that got me when Jeff walks by. What are you doing? It's like, we're crumping. And Jeff's like, that's not crumping. And then you see him go boom, 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 bang, bang, bang. Like, I'm like, yeah, that's awesome. That is, they weren't crumping at all, but it was fun to see them having fun together. And let this be, this episode was really the first one, in my opinion, that really had a heartfelt moment in it. I mean, now mind you, first episode, we have that moment where Jeff comes back and he's accepted into the study group. Great. Intro to Spanish, we meet the Spanish genius, and him and Pierce have their come to Jesus meeting their friends again. But in this one, Abed is talking about how he's feeling different, how he's feeling like he's the responsibility, he's the reason why his parents split.
Right.
And that moment at the end where his dad is like, I never told you that I blamed you. And Abed is like, you didn't have to. Oh my God, that thing hit so hard. So if you watch that one and you have any type of daddy issues, have some tissue ready.
And we're back.
And we're back.
See, I can't bite into it like you just.
it's the B and the K of back. You just got to put all into it. Say it like you're in a room by yourself.
Keep doing that, and pretty soon you'll be in a room by yourself. Right. Totally different conversation. So we go to social psychology. It's the fourth episode of the first season of Community. It aired in the United States on NBC on October the 8th, 2009. The episode shows Jeff bonding with Shirley through mockery of Britta's new romantic interest, Vaughn.
Vaughn. Hey, hello, what's up?
Annie gets Abed to participate in a psychology experiment organized by Dr. Duncan. It received 4.87 million viewers in the United States and mixed critical reviews. Jeff has been making excuses to avoid walking with Shirley to a class they have in the same section of campus. As Britta begins spending time with a laid-back hippie, Vaughn, Jeff becomes jealous. He begins to bond with Shirley over mocking Vaughn. Britta shows him a poem Vaughn wrote about her, perturbed by it, and Jeff surreptitiously takes a photo of it to share with Shirley. Pierce overhears Jeff and Shirley mocking Vaughn's poem with his new earnoculars.
Earnoculars.
That improve his hearing. He tries to confront them in front of the group, and they share Vaughn's poem. As they do, Vaughn and Britta arrive, and Vaughn, seeing the poem, breaks up with Britta. Shirley apologizes to Jeff, saying that she has had issues caused by her frequent gossiping in the past. The two agree not to gossip further, with the exception of Shirley telling them that Britta had a sex dream about him. Jeff attempts to reconcile with Britta, who reluctantly forgives him. Meanwhile, Annie begs Duncan to be an observer in his psychology experiment. She gets Troy and Abed to be the participants. Abed canceling his plans to watch Indiana Jones movies after Annie invokes friendship as a reason for him to help her. The experiment consists of the participants in a waiting room being repeatedly told that the experiment will begin shortly. Senior Chang immediately throws a tantrum and leaves upon being first told this, but the other participants last longer. Finally, Troy has a breakdown and leaves so that only Abed remains. After 26 hours, Abed is still waiting. The observer is now extremely frustrated and one exasperately leaves. Duncan has a tantrum, blaming Annie for inviting Abed, and the experiment ends. Annie explains the experiment to Troy and Abed, and frustrated at Abed, asks him why he stayed so long. Abed replies that he was furious, but stayed because Annie called him a friend. Annie later apologizes, buying him DVDs of the Indiana Jones movies as an apology.
So, the Duncan principle, as we find out, it's called. It's and I think it's absolutely genius. It's 1,000% makes sense. The higher your ego, the less likely you want to wait. Mm-hmm. So I get it. Chang going and blowing up those blow-ups that we saw were amazing.
Mhm.
Chang's, when you say something starts at 9, it starts at 9. Like, he always gonna try and throw in one Spanish word to show that he is a Spanish genius. But Troy's was so sad because he couldn't get out a whole word. He was just devastated. You promised butt stuff. At no point did Annie promise butt stuff, but he just had a dead set that was good. Because he even asked, when she asked him, will you be a part? He was like, is there going to be butt stuff? And before she could answer, never mind, I'll do it.
In the end tag, Troy and Abed mock people they can see through the window of their study room, thinking the window was soundproof. Mimicking Jeff as he walks by, Jeff replies that he can hear them through the window. The pair then pretend to be asleep.
She asleep. Just like, I'm Saddam Hussein. I'm just a desperate housewife. She pretends to sleep.
So we've reached Advanced Criminal Law. The 5th episode of the first season aired in the United States on NBC on October the 15th, 2009. The episode follows Jeff attempting to help Britta after she confesses to cheating on a Spanish test, as Pierce helps Annie by composing a school song, and Abed attempts to convince Troy that he's an alien. It garnered 5 million viewers in its first broadcast and was met with mixed critical reception. I think this was the episode that pulled me in.
Got you.
In Spanish class, Chang announces that he has discovered a cheat sheet someone used on a test, and all members of the class will score 0 on the test unless the cheater confesses within a day. In the study room, the group accuse each other of being the culprit but reach no conclusion. The following day, Britta confesses in class as the culprit. She is sent to a tribunal held at the swimming pool with the dean, Chang, and Duncan, with Jeff acting as her counsel. I like that. You can't get it wet. Don't get the equipment wet. Britta initially recants her confession, but then confesses again. After consulting with Britta during the recess, Jeff asks to plead insanity for his client, arguing that she is crazy because she went out of her way to fail due to a lack of self-confidence. The dean and Duncan vote for Britta to receive no punishment so long as she attends weekly psychological evaluations by Duncan, who has been looking for ways to attempt to seduce Britta. Annie is stressed over a composer she has hired to design a new school song for an unveiling of a statue of Luis Guzman on the campus. I always forget that's why it's there, and that it's a statue of Luis Guzman.
Luis Guzman. I loved you in IMDb. I'm sorry, y'all. That's forward thinking.
But hilarious.
But quite hilarious.
I left you in IMDb. Pierce offers to write the song. He struggles to write, but says to Annie that things are going well. After eventually conceding that he exaggerated his previous musical experience, Annie delivers a motivational speech based on one her mother gave her about cheerleading at the statue unveiling. Pierce performs the song he has written. The song is near identical to the song The Way It Is by Bruce Hornsby in The Range, though Pierce seems unaware.
That's just the way it goes.
Slop tails and pantyhose.
Annie believes in me.
Standing in your underwear, taking air conditioner repair.
So you can get a job. Greendale's the way it goes.
And they're in the audience. Oh, we're definitely getting sued.
We're getting sued. Oh, they got us. They got us.
Because at first they're like, well, maybe. Oh, no.
Nope.
Troy has been telling Abed various obvious lies, including that he is Barack Obama's nephew. Abed believes him until Troy explains that he was joking. Abed finds this amusing and attempts making jokes. Later, Troy overhears Abed making a transmission in which he reports his interactions with Troy. Troy becomes increasingly suspicious of Abed. In a storage closet, Troy observes Abed on a video call, ostensibly contacting a member of his alien species. Annoyed, Troy tells Abed that he does not believe him to be an alien and says all of his efforts was freaking him out, deciding they will not try to mess with each other from now on. In the end tag, Abed and Troy attempt to fit as many pencils as they can in each other's mouths.
36. So we get light sprinkles of Garrett over the last 2 episodes, one being the Duncan principle, and then this one being he was helping Abed to create the fiction of him being alien. Pay attention, folks, to Garrett.
Oh yeah.
Garrett is this is the one thing that I love. I really appreciate about the show. You've got your main characters, and it is a very diverse cast. It is the Avengers of comedians, right? Like everybody's got their strengths. But then the way that the show is written, it still introduces side characters like Garrett, like Vicky. We're going to get some magnitude, pop. And it's just like we I'm sorry, I couldn't believe I did that. That's awesome. It was so natural. But yeah, it's just Starburn. So yeah, pay attention to the side characters.
And they slowly get built upon, like Neil, like Leonard, like Starburns. Garrett has probably my favorite episode of season 6 is the Garrett episode.
Talking about his wedding?
Yes. Spoilers, folks. Spoilers.
It's disgusting.
Let's get what is it, Nana and and Aunt Helen, whatever it is. Yeah.
Same person. Same person.
Well, I see we have Nana. Helen.
So yeah, just with this being essentially the culmination of our first episode into Community, I'm really excited. One, that we're getting to cover a true comedy, because what we've been doing, if you've been following what we're watching for the past 2 years, we've brought fairly humorous takes. We've laughed a lot when we've been covering fairly serious material in Sopranos, even going with our Bruce Willis watch of July. So now getting a comedy that we both enjoy. There are people that are cursing me to be like, I can't believe you and Joey aren't doing The Office first. And I was like, you don't start off at the mountaintop.
Right.
You don't do that. But it's coming.
It's coming. And
send the check.
And I'll be honest with you, first season of Community a little funnier than the first season of The Office. First season of The Office, they've not hit their stride yet.
It for me, first season of The Office took a rewatch to really appreciate the humor that it had. But yeah, after that season, they definitely took off, because that season 1 of episode 1 of season 2 of The Office was great. That's so again, we're not getting off topic. Community is where we're at. But if you want us to cover The Office, you can do that by subscribing and then sending the check. Should you pay me, I'll talk about whatever the hell you want. I'll fart for money.
Hashtag though.
I tell people about that, man, because that's just quintessential internet right there, bro.
Because we're like, what do you think is going to happen in the movie? And you're like, I think this, and we're like saying hi to everybody who's coming on. Like, hi, Vicky, where are you from? We were
right
interacting with people. They were enjoying it. We were enjoying it. And then hashtag fart for money. And I'm like, what?
And we talked about it, and I think ultimately at the end of the conversation, I said I would have done it. I would have done it.
They didn't come up with a figure, and we didn't get any money.
Right, and that's so there you go. But I'm just saying, if there's something that you want us to cover, please hit us up in the comments, subscribe, send us to your friends. so that they can watch as well, and then they can let us know what shows they'd like us to cover, because I'm looking forward to that, to when we get to that point to where we're both watching something that we haven't seen.
Right.
And
Right.
we're really getting to look at it with fresh eyes, because the stuff that we've covered, while I love it, it's stuff that we've got some research in on,
Right.
some time spent. So I hope that you all are enjoying this. This is a lot of fun for us. For me and Joey, it's time for us to hang out. Y'all just get to be witness.
Absolutely. But like TJ said, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell. You'll get notified every time there's a new episode. We're going to try to get on more of a normal schedule, pretty consistent schedule, scheduling things up and down. Those are all the thumbs up emojis.
That's what I didn't understand where my thumbs were, because I was doing this and I was like, wait, I've only got one thumb. I've got two hands. So now I'm doing like this.
Or you're driving when you're playing charades, or you're double dicking,
Joey, they gotta pay extra for double dicking.
Oh, we're not really doing it. But have you ever noticed this? And then we'll go, folks. Episode 31, we're covering Captain Marvel. But have you ever noticed, if we were playing charades, I'm like, TJ, you got to play for Leroy driving a car. You'll do this. Now, I've driven 30 years. I've never done that once. And the car would be like,
you really just kind of just sit there and let the car do what it do. Occasionally, you'll adjust one way or the other. But when are you doing this? But hey, whenever you do this, everybody knows it's driving.
Right. Now, if you were driving one of them 70s or 80s, just boats and stuff like that, and you got to make a right turn, you got to turn a little bit to the left first, and then you got to all the way the other way.
Cricket, because again, you're talking about a deuce and a quarter back there, and for you young people, that's like an Oldsmobile Brown or Broham if you grew up where I grew up. A Broham. So yeah, you crank it a little bit to the left to get that tail out, because you don't want to clip the curb.
Right. Otherwise, you would clip the curb.
You go clip that curb, and then you whipping that thing, man. You whipping that thing. It usually got wood grain on the inside, because back then in the 80s, that was fancy.
And an ashtray on that inner door, baby.
Yes.
You got a lung dart working. Hold it. You hold it in your mouth as you do that.
No, real time facts, because you got to take into the decade that we were in. Cigarettes were cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, everybody had it.
And ain't nobody got time to roll that window down and tap it on the corner. Like later on, you'll see them glass that got the little ash on it right there. No, I got one right here. And the car just full of smoke, and nobody thought anything else. If the cop stopped you, it would probably tell you your tail light was out, and can he get a hit off of that?
Right.
You just here, take the pack. I ain't got but one left anyway. I'm gonna stop at the store.
Give me a hit off that butt. Each door had its own ashtray.
Had its own, and there was one in the back behind the. I used to play with that, dude. Just flip it open and close. Flip it open and close. I'm good for a good 45 minutes wherever we go.
Yep. Kink, 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 kink. Just hit that smacking at it, man. So yes, our childhoods.
One day you did that not knowing it was going to be the last time you did that.
Yes. But that's the same thing for a lot of things.
You're right. I was thinking about that today. My parents still have a home phone. I never called them on it because I usually FaceTime them. But I'm like, I need to call that number again because it might be the last time I ever called it. I don't know why they still have it, but they have literally had that phone number my entire life.
Bro, that's so dope.
I could be 120 years old, not a memory left in my head, but that phone number.
704-637-2385 was my phone number all through elementary school. Why can I still remember that number? I can't tell you many numbers nowadays.
I remember my neighbor's number. They've been dead for 20 years.
That's the thing, bro. it's crazy the things that stick with us, but again, now I have a cell phone. I don't have to remember anything anymore.
Once you get that person's number in there,
It's a wrap.
like,
Don't let anything happen to your phone.
Send a friend of mine some money on Venmo the other day, and I'd never sent her money before, but her niece is doing a fundraiser. So I'm getting a box of donuts.
Nice.
And she was like, you can Venmo me. And so I'm bringing up her Venmo number, and it's like, oh, from your contacts. And I'm like, yes. And they're like, make sure this is the right one. What's the last 4 digits of her number? Well, now I got to go out of that app and into my contact, bring it up, make sure I'm not calling her. Let me just look at her number. Oh, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever it was. They're like, yes. They're like, yes, that's correct.
But so Facebook told me that I'm not me because you can send and receive money on Facebook through Messenger.
Yes, that is correct.
So
yes.
and mind you, Facebook, while we're talking about you, send the check. But yeah, so I'm
he'll put it in his fat back fanny pack.
Big time. My big fat back fanny pack. But no, man, I get a message one day from Facebook saying, we don't trust your identity, so we need you to prove who you are, or you'll no longer be able to send and receive money on Facebook. And I was like, well, how else can I prove who I am? Y'all didn't ask for much information when I set the bitch up. You do understand that Tokyo Jameson is not a real person.
That's where they got you. That's where they got you. Another Facebook friend of mine who is known professionally by the name Lily Von Schlupp from the Mel Brooks. Is it Blazing Saddles?
Blazing Saddles, yeah.
Yeah, but she's a burlesque dancer. They gave her, she's like, that's what I'm professionally known as. I got documentation on that. It was a long time for her to do all that kind of stuff.
Well, but that's the thing that gets me weak. I've been able to send and receive money for 2 years. And it's all linked to my bank account that's under my government name.
Right.
And now all of a sudden, you have questions about the validity of one Tokyo Jameson. These are shenanigans.
Well, I got
Zuckerberg.
I got verified by a social media.
Oh snap! You got a blue check?
Yes, but the actual social media app no longer exists. They went out of business. It was one of those various clones of Twitter.
One of those fly-by-nights.
Right. Well, I mean, they tried, but it was just wrong timing. They gave it their all. But their whole thing was, and they're like, why should you get verified? And I told them, listen, I go by the Joey Harris. I was going to go by Joey Harris. I should have gone by at Joey Harris when I first got on Twitter, but there was a football player that uses that name, and there's a musician out in California, a very famous musician that uses that name. I figured one of them has it, but neither one of them had it. And they're like, can you give us any examples of them and you? So I just brought up a Google page, hit a Google search, and I'm like, look, here's all 3 of us. And they're like, that's true. And I just had to do 2 simple things, and I got verified by them. And the guy was like, you probably should be verified by all social medias just because of this. And I'm like, well, now that Elon Musk has taken over Twitter, I'm not going to pay to get verified.
You shouldn't have to.
Right.
Because now you're saying, because essentially that blue check
is meaningless.
Clout. Yeah. It is. I mean, before, if you had the blue check, you had a little bit of love because they knew that it meant something to have that blue check. You couldn't just buy it.
Right.
But now if you got a little bit of money, you don't necessarily have to be anybody of any real circumstance. You can just buy it, and now you have this blue check. So yeah, it's taking the meaning away. It's tough.
Yeah. But in the meantime and in the in-between time, we are watching Captain Marvel. So
yes.
If this comes out, folks, watch Captain Marvel if you haven't done it already. And we're going to talk about that next time. If I'm on the social media, I'm at the Joey Harris, Joey Harris Comedy at gmail.com. We are at what we're watching now on YouTube.
Yes.
Please get our subscribers up. because by the time we're going through this MCU, folks, chronologically, by the time we get to Secret Wars, we want to be able to do it live.
Yeah, we do.
So
we like going to the movies for y'all, man. That's a lot of fun.
Right. It was like, and I'll leave him with this. It's like my nephew. He watched Beetlejuice, so he wanted to see Beetlejuice, but only if they went to Alamo, TJ. You know what that's like. You know what that's like, don't you?
I know that Alamo life, that Alamo gang. We'll catch y'all next time. Hey, hit that subscribe, hit that share. Share this with your grandma. She would love my beautiful face.
And we will see you all next time.